Daniel Day-Lewis, he insists in being a character the whole time, and must be addressed as the character. He speaks with the character's accent. He will only eat the sort of food that the character would eat. I can understand that, because there's an awful lot to distract you on a film set and remind you that you are who you are. They kind of play with your hair. Just as you're about to film and be the character, someone comes along and starts playing with your hair and reminds you that you are yourself. I always say, please go away, please go away. But I don't know, it's a mystery to me, and that why you need so much rehearsal for a play and so little for a film. And I think on the whole I prefer films that have been rehearsed a little bit. There's been a chance to talk about the character.
Good question right here.
Hi, I'm a film student in directing, and although I don't act, I'm very interested in, I was wondering, how did you get into the mind of a director? Because like if you're a painter, you can paint and you can kind of get the idea of that, but how did you study the idea that you were a director and that you were portraying a director?
Well, not much. I can't remember, but I've worked with enough directors to have observed them, and I've done a little bit of directing myself. So directing is all about watching, listening, concentrating, worrying, hoping. That was it, really. And he was clearly an artist, wasn't he? I mean, an artist in the sense he was... I got one of his designs for Waterloo Road at home. And he was a painter, you know. I've also got a painting that he did in 1956, the year before he died, that I found on eBay. So that's a film. I've also got his travelling easel, which he used to prop the canvas and paint, and that went with him. If he came to London, he would take it with him and then bring it back to Hollywood. And again, I got all his brushes and some of his paints, and they mean a great deal to me, and not much to anybody else, but it's very nice to have.
We have another question.
Hi. Thank you for being here, first of all. I was wondering, you have been in so many films and had so many memorable roles that I was curious, for someone who acts at the caliber that you do and has had the roles that you've had, what is an example of a challenge that you felt was really difficult for you, and how you overcame that in that situation?
I think every part I play is a challenge, and in fact, I wouldn't want to do something that wasn't a challenge, actually. There are actors who do the same thing over and over again with variations, and we're very grateful to them. We wouldn't want Cary Grant to be any other than he is, you know. Or Hugh Grant, for that matter. But some of us like to be prettier, is that the word? In disguise, or discovering new things about themselves through the characters. And so I think all the parts have been challenges. How do you overcome them? Well, you cling on to all the people who are there to help you, all those people behind the camera. They're your friends, but particularly the director. I'm always asking directors to teach me how to do it, and to be critical if I don't get it right, you know. But I can't think of a part that wasn't a challenge, really.
Question right here for you.
Sir Ian McKellen, what makes the great great?
Well, I think it's when you can't tell how they did it, and you wonder, and your jaw drops, and you say, well, I couldn't do that. I don't know anybody else who could, but that person who's just done it, whether it's on stage or on the on the screen. I think that would be my definition of greatness, something so unique that it couldn't be copied or reproduced.
Unfortunately, we only have time for 2 more questions. We have one over here.
Hi, I'm a performing arts major and I wish to be an actor in either theater or stage. I was wondering, how do you get ready for like an audition, like when you go in for a part for a movie or a part on stage? Do you have a specific process to get the nerves out?
Were you asking for advice on auditioning? It's rather depressing fact that if you've ever auditioned somebody else, sat out there while they came on, you know the minute they walk on whether you want them or not. They don't have to open their mouths, usually. And the minute they do, you certainly know. There's hardly any point in them doing the piece, because you're not looking for illumination of the part. You're not looking for the finished product. You just want to be able to sense, is this person going to be able to achieve the part as either the director or either writer and either producer have imagined it. So that's not much help, is it, when you're auditioning? What can you do? One thing you can do is dress a little bit like the character might do. And if it's a classical film and it's wearing old-fashioned costumes, I don't advise you arrive in a ball gown or tights. You might decide how you're going to have your hair. You might decide whether your clothes are going to be brash or somber or workaday or special. That can just attract the positive eyes of the auditioners. But it's a wretched business, and one shouldn't really have to do it. And I think often the most lively casting comes not from auditions at all, but from the director or a casting director having seen an actor do something and guess from that performance that probably, possibly, hopefully they can be wonderful in whatever the current project is. But then if you've got to learn some lines and do it, well, learn the lines backwards so that they're, despite your nerves, they're going to come out, and I don't know. And be aware that really, you can't give a good or a bad audition because it's been decided the minute you walk out. I think that people may contradict that. Yeah.
I was wondering, with the many directors that you've worked with over your career, what do you look for in a director that you collaborate with? How can they be helpful, most helpful? Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, especially with film directors, it's a different process than theater, and many of us, there's a disconnect with the actors that we work with. There's a kind of a bit of a mystery, though there shouldn't be, with the processes involved. And I was wondering if you can comment on that.
I think the film directors I work with who've been most helpful have liked actors, and I'm afraid there are quite a few directors who don't really like actors, and particularly in films, they feel they get too much attention, they get the star billing, directors' names at the bottom somewhere, and with a few exceptions, and let the actors get on with that, I've got far too much to worry about, and I cast them well, we put them in the right costume, we put them in the right makeup, and that'll be fine, and now I can get on with the fun, which is deciding how the camera moves and everything else, and that may be their expertise, but the really good directors will give as much time, of course, to the actors as they will to the lighting cameramen and the electricians and the sound and everything else. And Bill Condon is certainly one of those. You might be interested that one of the speeches that Jimmy Haswell is drawing, the one where he remembers his past, and he says, he was like a giraffe, was it, that his parents adopted and they didn't know what to do with it. It's quite a long speech, and there was a tracking shot of the camera coming round the easel, and we were shooting it very, very, very quickly, and it was all set up, and I was ready to do the speech, and it was going to be in one shot, so no close-ups or anything. It was said we've got 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes they're going to pull the plug, so no more shooting for the day, and we won't be able to do it tomorrow, so you've got 5 minutes. And the speech lasts about 3.5. He said, so if you dry, just don't stop. If you want to do it again, when you get to the end, just do it again. And I won't say cut, and as long as I don't say cut, they won't pull the plug, so we can go on for... So all the time I was doing that speech, I was thinking, I mustn't dry, but if I do dry, it's all right, I just go back to the beginning again. But I can't ask for the prompt, and I can't have a conversation about it, I can't say, can we stop and start again? No, because there's a guy just taking the question. But it was a mark of a good director that he could say that to me. He knew it, he was safe saying it to me. He knew that I quite enjoyed the challenge of it. And his little crouched figure behind the camera, smiling and being with me, got me through, and the speech isn't bad. But we could just have a few more. But about the film in particular, I'd love to know whether you thought it was, well, anything about it really.
Yes, sir. I heard that the original laboratory equipment from Frankenstein was located and utilized in God's Monster. Is that true?
No, but no, but it was an exact copy, and Bill is very, very, very keen on these early Ware movies, and I was ignorant of them. The entire film was shot on location. Those gardens were real gardens, those houses were real houses, and his studio actually exists. It's not the original one, but everything was done where it seemed to be, with the exception of the studio of Frankenstein studio, and that was recreated. And it was recreated in the oldest working studio in Hollywood that Mary Pickford had used. And I'd been there, funny enough, in the previous film I made, Apt Pupil, and if you look up the ceiling there, there's a glass ceiling, because that's how they used to film. Even indoors, it was the Californian sunlight that they needed to illuminate the actors.
I have a question over here for you.
Hello, my name is Rebecca, and I'm with the OneRing.net. First of all, thank you so much for being here, and I just love Gods and Monsters. It's such a beautiful film. I also wanted to ask you, it's kind of assumed by everyone that you are going to be reprising the role of Gandalf in the upcoming Hobbit films. I was just wondering if you could talk about that at all, or give us any more information about it.
I have many thoughts about it, but there are not many that I can share, because they'll go beyond this room, and then I'll get into trouble of one sort or another. But, I'm in negotiation to play Gandalf again. That's the situation. I don't have a contract, but there is a start date, and it's imminent. So I suppose movement will be rather quicker now. That decision's been made than before, when they didn't quite know what was going to happen. It'll be 2 films. I've read an early version of the script when Guillermo del Toro was going to direct it, but now he's been replaced by the original Peter Jackson, and I haven't seen the script that's proposed from him yet. It's moving forward.
I, for one, really enjoyed the film. It was very good. The question that I have is, you said that you read the book to prepare your role for the movie. What sort of subtleties did you take away from the book to bring into the movie, if you did bring any?
I can't remember, but sorry, but I did try to be as truthful to the character that Christopher Brown had invented and that Bill had transpose.